This is the last part of chapter 1 that I'm going to do, 1 Corinthians chapter 1. And the key verse is verse 18. And it says this: "For the message of the cross is foolishness to those who are perishing, but to us who are being saved is the power of God." This is one of my favorite verses in the whole scripture. And actually, this is the build-up for it. My favorite verse comes later in 25, where it says, "For the foolishness of God is wiser than human wisdom, and the weakness of God is stronger than human strength." Now, what that all means is involved in looking at the book of 1 Corinthians. But the important part that speaks to me is to remember this: His ways are better than my ways. His ways are greater than my ways. And the very best thing that any human can do, without disparaging them at all, is not enough to even be considered in God's ways. Now, my point to you is, this is one of maybe 5 verses that if somebody asked me, what are your 5 favorite verses? I would say that that would be one of them. And each of those verses gives me strength in certain areas and certain aspects of my life and gives me direction. So what I ask you to do, as a part of knowing more about what God has to do in our lives, I want you to sit down and write out what are your 5 favorite verses and be prepared to share them whenever you're called upon.